Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, akhi. How are you doing? How's everything? Hope everything is well. What we do in this video, we're gonna get straight into it, inshallah. We're gonna build an AI agent for my very own AI automation agency. It's gonna be an advanced AI chatbot. I'm gonna deploy it on the website live for you to see, and literally you could go and interact with it right after this video. What is it gonna be able to do? It's gonna be able to answer FAQs. It's gonna be able to schedule calls with potential clients or leads, prospects, etc. Let's get straight into it.
E-com business owners, service-based business owners, consultancies, agencies. If you're looking to scale your business from 6 to 7 figures or 7 to 8 figures, then my agency's just had 2 spaces open up where we can help your business grow and scale using AI and automations. So if this sounds like something you're interested in, book a call down below. We've got a free discovery call available, and we're going to see if we can help you. Basically, what we can do, build out, automate workflows using AI and things like that. Build out custom AI agents that integrate with your system and work independently and just save you a whole lot of time and a whole lot of money. So if this is interesting, link down below, inshallah. Yallah, assalamu alaikum.
Quick one, if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel and you find this video beneficial, subscribe to the channel, inshallah. It's just good for the algorithm and things like that. So this platform is called voiceflow.com, and if you don't know voiceflow.com, it's basically a platform to build AI agents that are either conversational or specific for voice. So you could set them up here, you could integrate with a bunch of stuff like 11 labs for voices and things like that. But for us, we're going to focus on conversation because it's going to be an advanced AI chatbot. This is the one I'm going to be working on for now. If you don't have this, just click on this new agent and inshallah you could set one up. Getting straight into it, Brightleaf AI. As we mentioned, it's going to have 2 main functionalities. It's quite beginner friendly, this tutorial, inshallah, and I don't want to complicate things too much, especially since it's just my second video so far. So it's going to cover 2 main things. Number 1, answer FAQs. Number 2, going to be able to book calls. So the first thing I want to do is set up the knowledge base. Whenever you set up an AI agent, you build an AI agent, you want to have a source of information that the AI agent goes back to, especially when it's like customer support or client support or dealing with clients. Inside this VoiceFlow UI, you'd see right on the left panel here, there's knowledge base. So it's like the 3rd button down. And here you could add different forms of data. So you could have a URL, you could have a sitemap. Sitemap is basically a specific URL in your website that has the tree of all web pages in that website. You could upload a file, you could just type up some text, or you could integrate with Zendesk. For this, I'm just going to upload a file. I've got a file ready here. This is a very simple document. Inshallah, I want to create a separate video going over this knowledge document, how to word it, how to structure it, how it's actually used by VoiceFlow, just so you know what to look out for and things like that. But I've created a very simple one. It's just got a description, what we do, some contact details, services, and general FAQs. Okay, so I've just downloaded the file. I'm going to upload it now. So I've imported this document. I've just uploaded it inside the VoiceFlow UI. Now, this document will vary humongously between different businesses, different business models, what the AI agent is trying to do and things like that. So for this, to go over it briefly, it just touches on the contact details, the services we offer, and just some FAQs. This is a very beginner episode, inshallah. It's just to give you the idea of what the potential of these advanced AI chatbots are, what the potential is. So as we mentioned, 2 main things. Number 1, FAQs, and that's the first thing I'm going to do. So how are we going to structure it? Now, you've got to think of from a client's perspective or from a user's perspective. When they interact with this chat agent, what's the first thing you want them to know? The first thing you want them to know is what this AI chat agent or this AI chatbot is capable of doing. For this, it's 2 main things. Number 1 is book a call, and number 2 is answer questions. So we want to let them know as soon as they interact with AI chatbot. So the first thing we're going to have is a greeting. So let's say talk, message. You can see there's different options here, but talk is basically an output and listen is basically an input. So talk, you want to, let's say, hey, I'm Brighty. I'm Brighty from Brightleaf AI. And then we can add variants. Let's make 5 variants. Variants just means it's not so repetitive. Like there's different versions of the same message. So like, hey, it's Brightleaf from Brightleaf AI. Hey there, I'm Brightleaf from Brightleaf AI. Greetings, hi, good day. It's always worth going over them in case there's some things that don't really make sense in there. And then we're going to say, how can I help you today? Very simple. Variants, let's generate 5 variants. Okay, so this is the greeting. What can I assist you with? Is there anything I can do for you today? How may I be of service to you? Etc. Okay, so next we want to know what the user wants. Before that, we want to let them know what we can do. So what we're going to do is, so here there's 3 choices. The 2 main things I'm going to cover is capture and buttons. So buttons is essentially set or defined options the user can choose from. Capture is just listen and whatever text they type in, that is the input. So for us, we're going to use buttons just so that we can let the user know what the AI agent is capable of helping with. So number one, let's say I have a question. Okay, and add another, let's say I want to book a call. Very simple. What we're gonna do is click on this no match, and what this no match does, there's a few options: no reply, listen for other intents, no match. We're gonna turn off listen for other intents for now. No match, what this does is if the user decides not to click a button for some reason, just type in something and press enter, the message is most likely not gonna match any of these two options. So we want to have a default action to be taken. What we want it to do is essentially take it as a question. If someone sends in a message and says, you know, what services do you offer, we're going to just take that as a question. And so we're not going to have reprompts. We're just going to click on this follow path after reprompts, which basically means if the user, so let's just test it out, and I think it'd be easier for you to understand. Hey there, I'm Brighty from Brightleaf. What do you need help with? I have a question, I want to book a call. So I have a question would be this path here. I want to book a call would be this path here. And let's say he sends a message and says, what services do you offer? Okay, that would go down no match. Now it's gonna fail because I haven't set up a proper thing yet. Now we've got to set up these three paths. Just one thing, listen for other intents. I turned it off. I'm gonna turn that back on. What this does is in VoiceFlow, there's something called intents. Intents is one of the reasons why I love VoiceFlow. It's a way of triggering a certain event or a certain action or workflow to be triggered if a specific intent is recognized from the user. So for example, we could create an intent called booking a call, and regardless of where we are in terms of this workflow that I'm building out, if the AI agent detects that the input, so the sentiment of the input is the user wants to book a call, it would ignore everything and take them to that path. And if you turn this off, it doesn't allow that. The reason why I'm going to turn it on is because later on in this video, inshallah, I'm going to build an intent, a specific intent for booking a call, so that just by writing I want to book a call, automatically that intent is triggered. And although we've set this no match to default to answering questions, there's still a chance that the user doesn't ask a question. There's a chance instead of clicking I want to book a call, they decide to just type in book a call, you know. And we don't want to have these edge cases, especially in like working with AI agents. They're very important, and they're what defines the difference between a very scrappy AI agent and a really advanced AI agent that's worth thousands of dollars or dirhams or wherever you are. So I've turned that on. Inshallah, I'm gonna go over that more in later on in this video in more detail. So let's say I have a question. That's the first path we're gonna take. I have a question. Let's say, sure, how can I help? What we're gonna do right after that is have a captcha step. Now, I just mentioned the captcha step early on. Captcha is essentially listening to the entire message from the user and taking that as the input rather than a specific button. So captcha, we can capture entities or entire user reply. For now, we'll keep it to entire user reply, and we'll say that to last utterance. So it's getting complicated now. What is last utterance? Last utterance is a variable. And what that means is, if you think back to secondary high school maths, algebra, you've got a value x, right? You just say 2x plus 5 equals 10. So you want to know what is x, and then you calculate it. But essentially in that equation, x just represents a value. So x is an alternative way of representing a value, okay? So for us, last utterance is the variable, and the value of last utterance is the response given from the user. So for example, hello, it's Brett from Brightleaf. How may I be of service to you? We want it to go down this path here. So I'm going to click on I have a question. It's going to say, sure, how can I help? Perfect. So whatever I type in here, it's going to save to last utterance. So let's say, what services do you offer? Okay, it's probably going to end exactly because there's nothing that continues the flow here. However, I think that makes sense. If that doesn't make sense, I'm sure there's hundreds or thousands of videos out there explaining variables. Last utterance is a variable, and we're saving the entire response to last utterance. And now what we're going to do, we're going to take that last utterance and we're going to ask our AI fetch that data from our knowledge base. Remember from the beginning of the video, I showed you our knowledge base. The way we interact with our knowledge base inside VoiceFlow is through this KB search functionality or this KB search module. There is loads and loads of things here. I'm not going to go through every single thing in this video because I want to keep this video quite beginner friendly. Inshallah, we'll go through them in later videos, but for now, just bear with me and we'll keep it simple. Okay, perfect. Enter query to the knowledge base. What do we want to ask the knowledge base? The question we want to ask the knowledge base is literally last utterance, and what it returns is chunks of information. Essentially, how this is getting complicated. SubhanAllah, I should have probably made a video before this, but I'll probably make a video after this on how the knowledge base works. So the knowledge base is uploaded onto a database, right? And this AI agent is interacting with that database. It's called a vector database. We send in the question and it returns a bunch of information. That information is generally not structured. It's just chunks of that data. So let's say you ask, what are your services? Most likely what it will do, so we've got the knowledge base here. Most likely what it will do, it will take this chunk of information here. It will take that as a chunk and it will just send it back to me. Okay, that's all it does. So we're sending last utterance. We've got the chunk limit to 3. The more chunks there is, the more chunks you get in return. So let's say I ask, let's say we have a huge set of data and we send in a question and there's, thousands of places where you could find the answer. It would pick 10 of them that match the question the most and it will send them back to you. Okay, for now we don't need 10 because the data is it's pretty small, right? It's just 2 pages. So I'm going to leave it as 3. I can even reduce it as 2. I'm actually going to make it 2 because it's quite small data, and the more the chunk limit is, the greater the tokens used. And tokens, if you don't know tokens are essentially the currency of AI. It's the more data that's exchanged between you and an AI agent, the more tokens it's going to cost you, and ultimately the more cost it is in terms of actual fiat money. So I'm going to keep it as 2. Now we've got this information back and it's chunks, right? And we save it to a variable. So let's create a variable and call it chunks. Okay, what is this chunks variable? Remember, we just explained what variables are. Chunks is basically, that variable is basically going to represent all of the data that's sent back from the database. We're going to describe it as chunks of info from the knowledge base database, potato. Oh, sorry, it's tomato. Create variable. Okay, so we've got the info, it's in chunks. Now we need to take that chunks of data and we need to sift through it and create a response in like a format that actually makes sense. And the way we're going to do that is with AI. Okay, so we're going to have a prompt. Remember I explained how talk is output and listen is input, and we've gone over buttons and captcha. And talk, gone over message, it's basically just a message that you send out. Prompt, there's these other options here, but I'm going to focus on prompt. Prompt is basically an AI prompt. Give it a prompt and you could use some of the variables that you have saved in this AI agent, and then it generates a response, right? Think of our last video. When you speak to AI, it generates a response. And think of when you speak with ChatGPT, you put in a prompt, it sends something back. The thing that it sends back is what we're going to send to the user, okay? So this prompt, we need to word it in a way that it's going to be perfect for the user to understand, like the response it generates. We're going to create this prompt based on the last video that I posted. If you haven't watched the last video, basically explaining how to write the perfect prompt and how to get like results that are way more accurate than regular prompts that you could put out there. So system prompt, and we're going to set up a system prompt here. We're going to say role. Remember, if you watched the last video, you'd remember writing in Markdown. Markdown is basically a format of text, and it's quite similar to what you use in Notion, where you have like H1, H2, H3 as different headings or subheadings, paragraphs, you have bullet points, things like that. So let's say role support assistant at Brightleaf AI. You are client support assistant at Brightleaf AI. Let's say you have 2 decades worth of experience working with clients. You are known for your friendliness and your politeness. So the next thing is task. We're going to say answer the user's question using the chunks provided. Remember, we saved the chunks of information inside the variable chunk, and we're going to say using the chunks provided because we're going to give it the chunks. We're going to provide it here. In fact, let's do it now just so you guys get full context. It's literally this simple. Last utterance, okay, and chunks of information returned from the knowledge base, and that is chunks. Okay, so what's the difference between a system prompt and a user prompt? Think of ChatGPT. When you're speaking with ChatGPT, a user prompt is what you're sending out. So you're sending this out and then it's responding back to you. Okay, that's the user prompt. The system prompt, think of your subconscious, right? We can have a conversation and you'll respond based on what I tell you, okay? But you'll also based on how your subconscious and how your, like, think of your fitra. For example, when you're born, you've got a fitra, you've got predisposition, you've got, the way your personality is, things like that. That's your system prompt. So it's an underlying level of specificity and how you run. So answer the user's questions using the chunks provided. Keep the answer brief and straight to the point. Avoid using technical jargon. Keep responses simple and clear to understand. Let's go to the next thing. Context. What is the context of this conversation? The context is Brightleaf AI is a AI automation agency that helps businesses by building custom AI agents and automations. They also provide consultation services. Okay, that's the context of the business. The context of the problem is what is the context of this AI agent? Where do we want to deploy it? We want to deploy it on our website, right? So we want to make sure it has an understanding of that. So you are the first person users will interact with. So it's critical. I want to put that in capital letters. If you remember back to our last video, critical is basically emotional prompting and using like emotional language to show the importance of something. So you're the first person users will interact with. So it's critical that you remain polite and provide accurate responses. This is essential to the success of our business. Okay, examples. I'm not going to provide examples. I'm going to go straight to notes. Let's say for all responses, make sure, remember just repeating important stuff. Make sure one, the nothing is made up. All responses must be based on the chunks provided. Boom. Okay, number two, what do we want every response to have? Do we want it to be in long sentences form, short sentences? Let's say use emojis occasionally to keep conversations friendly. Okay, number three, let's say respond in a conversational manner. 4, use bullet points where possible. Okay, so a very important thing to know whenever you write an AI prompt is that it's never going to be perfect. And the key thing is put something down and iterate like many times and keep testing it until you feel like it's at a good point where you could publish it. So this, I'm sure there's so many things that I can improve on, but I want to improve based on data. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to interact with the AI agent, and based on the responses that I get back, I'm going to use those responses to improve this prompt. If there's specific things I don't like, that's what I will improve on. Okay, what's the prompt name? Let's say AI client support prompt. Prompt to answer users' questions based on the knowledge base. Boom, that is a prompt. Model. Okay, what model are we using? I'm going to switch to 4-row temperature. I'm not going to go into this, but I'm just going to bring this down. Inshallah, 256, that's fine. Okay, those two things, inshallah, I will create a separate video on them. So now guess what? We've got this step done. We have now completed. I have a question. Remember at the very beginning of this video, what did we mention? We wanted two things: answering FAQs and booking a call. So with this, we've saved the entire reply to last utterance, we've fetched the knowledge base, we've got back chunks, and we've used the chunks provided and the question that was initially asked to generate a response, and we're going to share that response with the user. Now we've done that part, last utterance. We've taken the last utterance, we've asked the AI for the response. Now we want to know if the user has any other questions. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to just pop in a message right after that and say, is there anything else I can help you with? Now the user can either ask another question or book a call. All right, so we're going to listen to what the user has to say, and what we want to do is let the user know again that they can book a call. So we can actually edit this. Is there anything else I can help you with, or would you like to book a call? Because remember, at the end of the day, it's a business, right? And so whenever you're creating these things for businesses, you want to push them towards booking a call, because once you're on the call, it's much easier to share what you do, to answer their questions, and it's a sales call at the end of the day. So we're gonna listen, we're gonna put in the button step, and we're gonna have one button here. So rather than two, we're just gonna have one and say, I want to book a call. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing we did earlier, so with no match and follow path after reprompts. So if the user doesn't say I want to book a call and they say no match, we're just going to bring it back, save entire reply to last utterance, and just go and it's a loop. So going back, we set up the path for I have a question, but we never set up the path for no match. And it's the same as this. We're going to take this no match and we're going to wait. Yes, that's what we want to do. So if you look closely, there's this arrow here. There's three things I can point at. I can point at the block, I can point at the individual module, or I can point at this second module. Three things I can point at. If you point at the block, it starts at the top of the block. If you point at a specific module, it starts like it carries on from that specific module. And you notice I've pointed at two separate things. Why? Because here the user has already asked a question. So we're just going to save that question to last utterance. Here they've clicked on I have a question, but they haven't actually asked the question. So you're asking again, how can I help? Right? And it's the same with here. I want to book a call. We're going to set that up now, inshallah. But the second thing, no match. You know what, I'm going to rename this so it's easier to remember. Let's say question, so it's easier to understand. Okay, so here they've asked the question, you're just saving the question to last utterance. And the same with this. Okay, so we've done the first part, right? And let's test it out. Run test. Let's see what it says, because during the test you could set up this and just debug and see what's wrong. So let's say, what services do you offer? Aha, I see what's wrong. That makes so much sense. Okay, so it seems like if it goes down the path of question, instead of taking it directly to save entire reply to last utterance, I should go directly to this step because it's already listened and it's already saved everything. So I'm just going to clean this up and just structure it a bit better. Okay, so what happens? Question comes in and it looks like this no match already saves everything. So I've been saving the entire reply to last utterance. Instead, I should go directly to prompting the knowledge base. Okay, that's what I should be doing. And same with this. Just go directly here. Okay, this is a bit of a web, but let's go over it. Question. The user asks a question. We should go directly to prompting the knowledge base. And then once it's prompted the knowledge base, we go up here. We use the chunks of information. We push out a response. And then, is there anything else I can help you with? Or would you like to book a call? And then there's these two options. Question, we bring it back to this last utterance. Remember, same thing with question. So this part, we take it directly here. For this as well, we take it directly to this. Okay, it's a bit of a web, but I hope that makes sense. Okay, so we've sorted out the question part. Now let's actually ask the questions and see if it works properly. Let's say, what services do you offer? Okay, let's see what it says. Bismillah wa ala barakatillah. Okay, lovely. So at Brightleaf AI, we offer blah blah blah. It's kind of okay. It looks like it's answered pretty well. Feel free to reach out if you'd like to learn more. Is there anything else I can help you with, or would you like to book a call? Okay, so I just don't like how the response is. It's very long. It's very chunky. So I'm gonna play about with the prompt a bit. The prompt, it's as I mentioned, it's an iterative process. Notes 5. Keep responses. Let's say under 30 words where possible. 6, let's say split sentences into paragraphs to make the response easier to read. Let's try that again now. Let's ask the same exact question and see how it responds. What services do you offer? Oh, that is much better. So that seems pretty well. I'm sure there's a bunch more tests I can do, and in that same process that I've just shown, just keep asking questions, different types of questions, seeing the response, and then improving the AI prompt. Now, I'm not going to do that for the entire video. I'm going to move on to booking a call. So we want to set up the path for booking a call. We're going to bring this down here. What we're going to do, if you've ever seen my website, my website is here. I've got this Calendly embed, right? And Calendly does a really good job of, picking a time in your calendar, booking a call dynamically right here through your calendar. It's just such an easy process instead of going back and forth between people. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to embed Calendly inside VoiceFlow. So inside the message, there's ways of integrating HTML. Okay, it's quite complicated. I'm not going to go through the details of it. However, I'm just going to go over the basics, inshallah, just enough for you guys to get the context of this video. So great, feel free to pick a time below, and then we're going to put in a emoji, let's say smiley face, and then right after that we're going to add another message. And what's really cool about VoiceFlow is that you can literally paste in HTML right there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go get my embed and then I'm going to paste it in there, paste in the HTML iframe, and then it's got my link here, and inshallah it should show that. Okay, looks like it's loading up. So I'm going to do, I'm just going to link these. I want to book a call. If someone clicks on that, it will just bring them to this new block. Same with this side. Now, okay, perfect. So once someone's booked a call, what we want to do is, we've got this block here. Is there anything else I can help you with, or would you like to book a call? We can separate this, do this. So bring this here, and then it looks like a web. What I should do is just arrange everything, but let me just connect this first, and we'll just ask, is there anything else I can help you with, or would you like to book a call? I can get rid of this part. Okay, so pretty much we have a fully functioning AI agent right now, ready to deploy. This is ready to, it's just, there's a bunch of things we could improve on. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to rearrange everything, change the colors up, give it proper namings so that it's much easier to maintain and much easier to add more functionality to. Okay, so the workflow and the canvas is much more cleaner now. Just to go over my changes very quickly, you come in, you've got the main intro here, and then it directs to one of these 3 blocks. Ask for a question, it brings it here, and show how can I help, and then it answers the questions. And then I want to book a call, brings it to this block here. Question, fetch chunks for questions, so it brings it to this question. And remember how we explained that if the question is already given, then you could just go straight into going through the knowledge base. Once the AI gives a response, you just take them back to menu, which is there anything else I can help you with? I want to book a call or question, and same with book a call, take them back to menu. This is a very quick, simple AI chatbot. There's one more thing I want to do, is I want to set up an intent for book a call. The way I've set it up, I really don't need one, but I'm just going to have one anyways. So what I'm going to do is just going to right click and click add trigger. I'm going to create a new trigger called intent. Okay, and I'm going to create an intent called book a call. Trigger this intent. The description is trigger this intent when the user would like to book a call or speak to someone from the team. So the name and the description is very important, because that's what the AI in the backend uses to recognize whether this intent needs to be called or not, right? So utterances are also very important, but description are generally overlooked. It's also important. So some utterances is, I want to book a call, I want to speak to a human, is there any way I could have a chat with someone from the team? Let's say it also has this very cool feature where it's red now, but the more utterances I have, the more valuable these utterances are and the more accurate it is. So this would turn green. And there's this generate, we're going to generate some phrases here in a second. I just want to give it some phrases to base those generated utterances off of. Let's say, can I schedule a call? It's always important to go over these sample phrases. I want to book a call. How can I set up a phone conversation? That's not accurate. I need to arrange a call with a representative. I'm just going to say I need to arrange a call. Could I arrange a call to further discuss this? I'd like to schedule a call with a team member. Can I book a phone appointment? Not really. Schedule a call. Yeah, is it possible to book a call with a staff member? Yeah, okay, that's fine. I want to speak with someone over the phone. This, I'm going to remove this because it's not really a phone call. It's more of a online call, right? It's a video call. I need to set up a call to discuss this matter. Can I request a phone link to talk about this? Okay, I'd like to schedule a call to go over some details. I can call to address my concerns. Is there a way to book a call? Okay, it looks pretty all right. One thing important is, do not, because someone might ask for my phone number and I don't want these utterances to mix up with asking for contact details or have you got a phone number I can call. Actually, if someone asks for a phone number, I think this is fine. So we're going to create this intent, and what we're going to do is when this intent is triggered, we're just going to come straight here. With that, let's test it. So first of all, test that intent. Can I speak with someone? See what it says. Perfect. So it looks pretty well. It says, great, feel free to book a call below. Okay, this could probably be worded a bit better, but I'm not going to go into that for the rest of this video, inshallah. Is there anything else I can help you with? I think this should have another option here of asking a question. So let's close this and let's add a button saying, I have a question. Let's test it one more time, and then inshallah we'll go into deployment. How can I support you today? Let's say I want to book a call. Great, feel free to book a call below, and it shares is there anything else I can help you with? I have a question. Let's say actions, go to block, and then ask for question. So this test agent, if you just refresh, it doesn't take the latest thing. So if you've made any changes, it doesn't apply. You have to close and then open again. I want to book a call. Feel free to book a call below. What else I can help you with? Bismillah. Boom. Sure, how can I help? And then you ask the question. Perfect. And here, so look, we're saving this reply to utterance and we're gonna fetch the database, right? But guess what? If I say I want to book a call, it should, this is a problem. Remember how in the beginning of the video I was speaking about this? We've turned this off, turned it back on, and let's try that again. So close this, open it again, and now it should work. This is the importance of testing the AI agent thoroughly before deploying it. Sure, how can I help? Let's say I want to book a call. Great, feel free to book a call. Perfect. Khalas. I'm not going to test any further, even though I'm supposed to, but I think it's at a good enough place to, just deploy. So now that we want to deploy it, first thing we want to click is publish. So press publish v1. Let's give it release notes. Let's say answer questions and book calls. So while that is publishing, we're going to click on interfaces. So here we can now modify the UI of our agent. So you want this to match your branding. 10100. This is the general look I go with on my website. Footer text, we're gonna say powered by Brightleaf AI, because that's what we do. Okay, so I quite like how I've set it up. There's a few things which I'll probably fix after this video, but let's scroll up. This is what we need to paste in, so I'm just going to copy this and paste it into my website. Okay, so this is my website, and you can see this is right here on the bottom right of my web page. So khalas, that concludes the video. If you guys got any questions, anything you didn't understand, let me know in the comments, and like the video please. It really helps with the algorithm and everything. With that said, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.